Hi, all. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Kickback Podcast. In today's episode, I will be talking with Grace Newfor and her experience in the Paralympic world. I hope you enjoy. Hi, guys. I'm here with Grace Newfor.
Hey.
So,
I'm
Grace,
so
how old are you and where do you go to school?
I'm 21 years old and I go to school at the University of Akron in Northern Ohio.
How has it been adapting to college life with your disability?
I'm trying to think back to freshman year me because adapting was low key such a process. I had lived in the same suburb in Indiana for pretty much my whole life, um, all my years of school, like elementary, middle, high school, I was in Indiana in the same place. So I was used to, I knew where I was going if I was independent or everything was just super familiar. And for someone with a vision impairment, familiarity is like such a comforting thing. So then coming here to college and, not knowing my way around as much and then um like mixed with depth perception issues. I think my first year of college, I had a total of like 9 ankle sprains mixed with the depth perception and then the other genetic condition I have. Like it just was not a good combo because I just wasn't familiar with where I was and navigating and finding my way around. And the new sense of independence definitely was something that I don't think I was super prepared for leaving home, but it's definitely something that's taught me a lot, and I'm super grateful for the experience of testing my limits and going out of my comfort zone.
Are you more independent now based on what you've been through freshman year?
Yes, definitely. So here we only live in dorms for our freshman year, and then after that we move off campus. So now that I'm off campus, it's more of I walk around everywhere, to get to classes, sometimes to go to practice, but it's it's nice too because I have 3 roommates with cars. So if I need to go anywhere, they're able to drive. But I'm definitely more independent now. I'm better at balancing that. Um, and I love this I love this little life. At home, it was like I couldn't go anywhere unless I asked someone to take me because it's not like things were a short walk away, but going to Akron, the city is super close. And even yesterday before class, I, walked downtown to go to a coffee shop beforehand, and it was completely by myself. So I do enjoy the bit more of independence I have, and I think it's something that I want to carry into the future. So oftentimes, if I'm like looking ahead, I see myself living in an even bigger city where I can be more like completely independent and like go to the grocery store by myself. Which I guess saying this now, I could hypothetically be Ubering places, but that's expensive and a little intimidating, especially with some of the people who live around here in Akron. I'm not sure how comfortable I would be with that.
Yeah. How did you decide on Akron as your college?
For me, I was looking for a place that had a really good team environment and team atmosphere. I wanted to be somewhere where everyone on the team had goals and wanted to work hard and wanted to be there for each other and push each other to work just as hard. Growing up in my club team, there were like a few of us for sure who wanted it, but it's just hard because like you're in a suburb in the middle of nowhere, so not everyone has the same passion as you, and there's like nothing wrong with that at all. But I knew that I had really big goals and that I would need a team that would support that and also a team that would feel like family coming into college to help me feel more confident and stable in who I was as an athlete, but also as someone with a vision impairment as well.
Going off of your vision impairment, what is your disability's name?
So I have a genetic condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That's kind of like the umbrella term that we use. But more specifically, I have brittle cornea syndrome. So it just means that my corneas are extremely fragile and misshapen, and the misshapen part causes the um, vision impairment. and it's not correctable, like, at all. Like, I've had people tell me, like, "Oh, just get LASIK surgery." No, and I, like, can't wear contacts because my eyes are too thin to do that, and growing up, the doctors were like, "No balls, bats, or rackets," because everyone was just terrified of me and my sister's corneas rupturing because she has the same genetic condition as me. So the brittle cornea syndrome is, like, the main, I guess, focus could be the word used, of our Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but then other, side effects include, like, loose joints and ligaments and loose loose joints and ligaments and hypermobility, which explains, like, all the ankle sprains as well.
Nice, but also not nice.
I know
Um,
what you mean.
yeah. What is the worst and best part of having your disability?
I think for me, the worst part is, it's hard sometimes to not be, like, upset about it. I think everyone definitely has those moments, and for me, sometimes if I'm already, like, having a rough day or a rough week or just, like, not happy about something else in my life, sometimes I overthink and then I pull my disability into it, and I'm like, "Well, shoot, like, all this is happening and I just wanna be happy, and I can't even see this person smile from across the room," and I'm like, "That sucks." Like, I just wanna be able to see people smile, but I do see people smile, and it's just, I don't know, my life, it's just very, I just see things obviously from a very different perspective, and I think sometimes it's hard to not see that, like, represented. Um, so for me, joining into the para world just recently and even meeting the few other athletes who are in my classification or have vision impairments or, um, just having these experiences where people are more aware and it's more, it's not something that people shy away from, I guess. Like, having these experiences have made me feel so much better about it and so much less alone because, your friends and family can be like, "Oh, like, whatever you need, like, we'll help you," or just ask, but it's like, it's lonely because they don't understand or they don't know, what it's like, but then on the other side of that coin, I guess it's, I don't really know what you guys see, so I don't really know what I'm missing out on, and most of the time I forget that I can't see. So it's kinda like day by day. I think it's a bit of a roller coaster, when it comes to how I feel about it, but I think personally, I'm also so grateful for the opportunities that's presented, especially recently with para swimming and all the amazing people I've met, like yourself. It wouldn't we wouldn't be besties. As much as my vision impairment, sometimes I can sit here and be like, "Oh, like, it's taken so much from me," like, I've also had so many cool experiences because of it. Um, so yeah, I think it's definitely a balance.
That's good. I'm glad. At least it was hard growing up with having strangers look at me weirdly and staring at me, going the way
Yeah.
whatever. So is it hard to go through life for you with strangers looking at you? And how did you get past that?
Oh my goodness. So get this. I used to work at my school's law library, and there was this patron who would come in like every day. And at least once a week, he would come up to me because I'm like sitting at the front desk, like there wasn't normally a lot going on, and I would be reading or doing homework, and he'd be like, "You need stronger glasses." Or he'd come up and he'd be like, "You're gonna hurt your eyes if you look that close." And I'm like, "No, I'm not, but thank you." And I mean, that's happened more than just in that situation with that guy, but um, I've definitely felt the looks when I'm looking at things too close, and there are people who feel like they need to say something. Or one time I was at this restaurant and this guy came up and started raving about LASIK surgery to me, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you should try it, like, it changed my life," and I just, like, I'm not gonna sit there and tell him my whole life story, like, I'm trying to eat dinner with my family, and he just
Mhm.
came up and started talking to me, so I was just like, "Okay, thanks." Like, I don't know. It's sometimes it's just really random, and I'm, like, not expecting it, and then we walk away and everyone just laughs about it because it's like, what are you gonna do? Most of the time, people have good intentions, and I would like to think that's the case, but sometimes it catches me so off guard, and I'm just like, "Wow."
Yeah.
But it's mostly not, it doesn't bother me too much.
That's
Younger, it bothered me more, especially in school.
yeah.
Kids were mean.
How do you keep a positive mindset with your disability and doing day-to-day tasks?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, that's not always been the case. I've definitely been through some highs and some lows with it. It's like a big internal battle. Like I don't know how you feel about yours.
Yeah, in today's
Um,
struggle.
yeah, yeah. I think it's just important for me, what's helped me is practicing gratitude. Um, because like yes, like I can label myself as disabled and I can't see very well, but also like there's still so many things that make me so happy and I just can find so many joy in the little things throughout the day and my experiences and my relationships and um yeah, I don't know. I just think that all of those things, like being aware of those things and appreciating and being in the moment just really helps me like feel so overwhelmed with gratitude and joy that it's hard to sit and sulk and be like, for me to be able to read a book and not have it hurt my eyes. But it's like I'm like the birds are chirping out my window and I've been laughing with my roommates for 2 hours straight. So is it really that deep? I don't know.
Do you use audiobooks for when you read?
Sometimes I do. Most of the time I just suffer. Probably should be using audiobooks more, but I sometimes just suck it up because I like to pretend that I can't see.
Did you get into the Paralympic movement?
So I think it was April of 2019. I that spring at a USA swimming meet, I had been introduced to Becca Myers. I actually saw her on deck with her Birdie, her guide dog, and I went and introduced myself because I'd been following them on Instagram. And I was like, "Hey, like my name is Grace. Like I'm vision impaired. I just wanted to say hi." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, like do you do para?" And I was like, "What? What?" So she was the sweetest thing ever. Her mom, Birdie, and then me and my mom sat in the stands and talked for like half an hour about para swimming. And then I applied to get classified. I tried to get classified,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure what happened. I think I asked the wrong doctor to fill out my paperwork because my vision hasn't changed, but I asked the cornea specialist, and I probably should have asked the optometrist who actually deals with like eyesight numbers,
Mhm.
or I guess the low vision specialist to be more specific about it. So then they're like, "Oh, sorry, your left eye is like just a tiny bit too strong, so you can't swim with us." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I just, went along, started college, and then about 14 months ago, someone came up to me and they're like, "Listen, like I have a lot of vision impaired para swimmers from my home country because they're European, and
Mhm.
they can see better than you. No offense." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "You have to get into para swimming." And I was like, "I'll try again, like might as well." So me and my assistant coach at the time spent a lot of time trying to go through the process, getting classified, which that classification is a whole other topic because that was so hard for something that should be so accessible, nationally classified, about a year ago. But then I had surgery because I broke my wrist. Two of my ligaments tore from doing a relay start into the water. So we're not even gonna talk about that. The World Series meet in Indy last year in 2023. Couldn't because I was still recovering. Finally healed, sprained my thumb in the process, so was in another cast on my other hand at September in California. That was when I met you. Even though you said you were in September, and then I made the national team at that meet, and then went on from there.
Yay.
Yay!
Are you more comfortable with your disability since joining the Paralympic movement?
Yes. I was saying earlier, it's just definitely like when I'm in the Paralympic environment, I just feel so much more like grounded and confident in who I am as an individual with a disability, but then also just being able to relate to everyone and to talk to people who have had different experiences. Like everyone's so cool.
Mhm.
Um and such amazing people and athletes. It's just been I don't know, like every time I'm in this environment, I just get so happy because I'm like, I'm so passionate about this and I want to make this such like more of a well-known thing. And like I was talking to you before this, like I recently broke some American records at my like NCAA conference meet, and I just want to bring para swimming into other aspects of USA swimming and NCAA as a whole. Because the awareness is so cool, because then it opens the door to conversations and new connections, and I don't know, it's just I've become really passionate about it.
Biggest accomplishment in the Paralympics so far?
Honestly think, like, if we're talking numbers and data, the biggest accomplishment is probably the silver medal from Santiago. Um, but yeah, that was really cool. I think personally, I just feel accomplished for um being in this new environment and being happy and confident about it, I guess. Like, to me, that's an accomplishment to, find this new home and this new family that I feel supported and I feel like I'm thriving in. Um, but yeah, then I guess on the swimming side, I'm really proud of my performance in Santiago, even though it was just one race.
Okay. What are your future goals in the sport of swimming?
Um, I would say that, you know, like I was saying earlier, my goal is to just make para swimming more well known and to advocate for Paralympics athletes in general and do my best to represent them and represent what they stand for as individuals and as athletes. And then also, I guess like a super big goal of mine right now is to make Paris. Just day by day and making sure I'm staying present and grounded in the moment, because as cliche as it is, sometimes the journey is way more fun than the destination still.
I want others to know about the Paralympic movement.
Um, I just I think it's important that everyone understands like that we are still real and elite athletes. Um, and you can sit here and be like, I not to get like too deep, right? But like I know
Go
me
as deep
personally.
as you can.
Okay. As I can.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say, like I know like for me personally, it be like when I started para swimming, I was just in a place with myself and who I was that it was hard for me to make that switch and go between, USA swimming, NCAA swimming, and then go to para swimming. Just because I had been training my whole life. And like my biggest goal ever was to make Olympic trials. But now being in para swimming and having so many more doors and opportunities open, it was hard for me to realize that like I've worked for this, like I've earned this, I deserve this, and I'm not cheating. I'm not skipping the line. I'm not, you know, anything less of an athlete, because now I went from not having these opportunities to, tomorrow I'm flying to Italy to represent Team USA. Um, and personally, there was just like such a huge change, and not to like be like, oh, I had imposter syndrome, but it was definitely something where like going back and forth between the two environments, the two type of meets, like as an individual, I was like, it was a lot to process and take in. Um, but having been like almost a year now of doing Paralympics, I think, if I could go back, I would tell myself, like, you deserve this. Like, you're a real elite athlete. You work extremely hard. You go through things that a lot of people don't have to. And I think that just it's really important for outsiders to understand that as well, even though they don't live it firsthand, to like be able to watch the Paralympics and just like recognize how much effort and training that these athletes go through, and to be able to support them the same way that they would do with able-bodied athletes.
Yeah. Amen to that. Italy. Why are you going to Italy?
So yeah, I just saw the opportunity, to travel with Team USA, swim in this World Series meet. And like I was saying earlier, like a super big goal of mine, fingers crossed, is to go to Paris. So I was just thinking ahead and I was like, like if I do get the chance to go, it would be nice to have some experience under my belt to make some of the unknowns known. Um, and also it's Italy, like, why wouldn't you wanna go, you know?
Tennis.
To the end of my college season, so we had conference last week, so then this week I've just been training again, and then next week we'll compete, so I was like, "It's timed perfectly." Um, who wouldn't wanna go to Italy? And it'll be a really great experience and learning experience, and also to, practice racing some events that I may not normally race to see, what the lineup could potentially be for this summer.
What are you swimming in Italy?
I'm swimming the 100 back, the 100 fly, the 50 free, and the 2 IM. So a bit of an assortment. Coming off of college season, I swam 50 free and then the 100 and 200 fly. So adding some more strokes into that. No one watch my breaststroke, please.
During your spring break, or are you missing school?
No, I am missing school, but all my professors have been so supportive about it, which is sweet. And I only have a few assignments that I'm gonna miss while I'm gone. But I get back Monday night. We'll probably be asleep most of Tuesday, and then Wednesday I have 2 exams.
Thank you so much for watching this podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll just,